back, everybody. I'm Alex Nottingham, founder of Also Dental Academy, and we have a 4-part mastermind series, The Power of the Mastermind. In our last call, we talked about my experience with the mastermind. We had Heather with me and how she started to get involved as well, and how really Also Dental Academy was launched and the idea came from a mastermind group, and how powerful this concept is and why we have launched this to dentists, our dentists and dentists around the world. Really excited about that. Now, in this podcast, I have some great people to share with you. And in this podcast, we have a few parts coming up. In this podcast, you're going to hear from some of our Titanium Mastermind members at All-Star Dental Academy about the power of the mastermind and how it impacted their lives. In this podcast, we will hear from the experiences, and then in the next podcast, we're going to go and do a deep dive into the results that they actually received. So I just want to interview or give you a quick bio of everybody. So I'm going to mention your name, just say hi after I mention your name, and then we'll get down to the questions and I'll kind of help you along the way. So Dr. Clive Maxwell, let's begin with my bald brother over here. He runs a state-of-the-art dental practice that caters to adults and children. It includes a jungle gym, an arcade, an XD theater. In addition, he is a partner in a successful corporate practice where he replicates his successful business model around the US. He's an author, consultant, and loves giving back to the community. Say hey, Dr. Maxwell, Clyde.
Hello.
Great. And then we have Dr. Ace Gorig, an endodontist and former Army colonel. He co-founded EndoMastery, a coaching program for endodontists. He is an investment expert and has wrote books helping dentists achieve personal financial freedom. He actually is my financial guru, and we'll hear from him more on financial success in the future in some of our podcasts. Ace, say hi.
Hello. Great to be here. Thanks for the invitation, Alex.
My honor. And we have Dr. Al Nardone. He runs a successful fee-for-service dental practice. He's a Pankey trained dentist, an experienced mastermind contributor. He and his wife regularly travel to Nicaragua, leading groups of volunteers to aid children. He speaks Spanish, French, and enjoys traveling the world. Al, great to have you.
Hello. I'm thrilled to be here. Very excited about this.
Excellent. So let's begin and we'll start with the kind of definition. One of my coaches always said, you start with defining what it is. So I want to hear from you. How would you define a mastermind, in your opinion, and what have you found most valuable? Let's start with Clyde.
Yeah, what is a mastermind to me? A mastermind, I guess if I were to give you a technical definition, my own technical definition would be, a mastermind is a group of like-minded people who are led by like a facilitator, and who have the desire to be intentional in pursuit of achieving desired results. But that's like a technical thing. But bottom line is, it's bringing people together who try to be inspired and to inspire to achieve results. I mean, that's the reason why I was going into it. So I kind of look at that as the reason. And
that inspired you.
Yeah.
Inspiration. And so, yeah, actually, I'll stay on definition, and I'll come back to actually the second part of the question about the value. Al, how about that with the definition of mastermind?
To me, just to kind of expand on what was just said, to me, a mastermind, specifically in dentistry, is a group of successful dentists. I want to be clear that you can define successful dentists in a number of different ways, not necessarily financially, but it's a group of successful dentists that are very eager to share, very eager to give back. But even though they know they are successful, they know that there's a lot that they have yet to learn. There's a lot that they have yet to develop. And they know that through sharing and giving, they grow and learn as well. And they're excited and energized by that environment. That to me is the definition of a mastermind.
And before I go to Ace, Clyde, I have a question for you. I remember, can I share your revenue number?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So, and the reason I'm saying that is I remember talking to you and I was putting together some of the marketing materials for the mastermind group before we, and like I mentioned in the prior podcast, I was surprised about how welcoming it has been. I mean, we're almost full already before even promoting it. And I remember talking and putting a lot of the words, top dentists, you know, we want top dentists. And you said to me, because you have a $7.2 million practice, and you said to me, I'm not even top dentist. Like, I don't want you, you know, my opinion is Maxwell, Clive went through all my copy and says, no. And he said, top, you're going to bring the wrong people. Because even though, and as Al was saying, the word successful, I think that's important, but also it's how we define successful. And really the underlying is that humility. So success meaning you've done some things, you've achieved, you've overcome adversity, you built to a certain level. But I think what you were getting at Clyde is saying top is, and you may not be, quote, objectively successful, whatever it is, but you have that mindset of I'm the best, I'm top, I'm this, I'm better than the other person. That isn't, and that's one of the, we'll go back to this later, who's good for a mastermind. That's not a good person to bring in. So I thought that it very enlightening, Clive, when you corrected me, you know, even though I think many of the world would say you would be successful, and all the dentists that we have and dentists on this call, very successful. So care to kind of like just comment on that, like, you know, our discussion about that?
Yeah, I mean, actually, you're right on point with that, and it may kind of spill over to when you're looking at candidates or be considered like good or versus, you know, maybe not so good for the group, and it really comes down to, you know, for the team. I mean, what value it's, you know, what one of my mentors would say, you know, be interested, not interesting. You know, be interested in others, be interested in someone else. Don't try to be interesting about yourself. Make it about the other person. And I think it breeds when you know, and I was going with that is because, you know, realizing that kind of just the same tone as what Al was saying is that, you know, you're eager to give. You know, when you have that mindset or you have that heart of a giver, you know, the receiving comes. If you're focused on giving, that's where the value is. Because, you know, even as you're giving, you're learning, you know, you're learning for yourself as you're giving. And at the same time, you're receiving because you're actually being able to help someone else. So it's, so I think if you have that mindset, it breeds that, and then everyone benefits. So
yeah,
that's what I want to expand.
Well, you know, I think about, and this is a good segue to ACE, is I think of Warren Buffett. So ACE is like the Warren Buffett in dentistry. And what I mean by that is, you know, the financial certainly mind, but Warren Buffett is extremely humble, and he's one of the most richest persons in the world, but he's very humble, you know, and so on. So yeah, that was, you know, building on that. So let's transition to ACE. ACE, kind of hearing what we're talking about the definition of the mastermind. Wanted to hear your thoughts.
Well, the thought that I have is I enjoy the idea that it is about being successful, but to me, it's more about just loving your life, creating a practice that just is effortless and just is fun. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 50 years, and I love going into the office. Of course, it did help when I retired from the military that I dropped down to 3 days a week, and I only took a week off each month. Which I kind of like. Now my son's with me, I'm down to 2 days, but you know, at my age, who's going to talk to me? You know what I'm talking about here?
You're a young man. You're a young man.
I am a young man, by the way. But it is about connecting with a group of people where it's more the idea of synergism. I mean, basically it is, we add one idea, someone gets another idea, and we just expand on those ideas, and it's just very exciting. But you're right, the more you give, the more abundance flows in your life. I can't stop abundance in my life, and it is all about sharing. And I can guarantee you, I've created many mastermind groups, and I have learned more than probably you know, that you know, I've probably given. But it's just an incredible and exciting adventure. And besides, what it does it keeps you alive in dentistry. It keeps you excited about doing something new, and you know, you gotta look forward to something each day, right?
It's true. So my next question for all of you, and I'll just see whoever wants to jump in on this, but I'll make sure everybody answers the question. Can you share some experiences in the mastermind because all of you have participated in other masterminds before being part of All-Star Titanium. Can you share some experiences that have been valuable for you?
I'll be glad to jump in.
Sure.
I've been in a number of masterminds over the years, and going back as far as 25 years. And my original mastermind that went back 25 plus years eventually folded for a number of logistical reasons because of the people that were participating in it. But I made such powerful relationships that to this day, I have a partner from that original mastermind. We call each other once a week. Every Wednesday morning, I'm on that call, and we support each other. We push each other. We have gotten to a point where I call it a safe place. When we were in the mastermind, we had developed a relationship where we felt like we were safe to share anything we needed to share our struggles, share our joys, share the things that we had succeeded in our practice. And we knew that we were all sharing for the benefit of others. And when that mastermind folded, we missed it. And so the partner I developed in that mastermind and I decided, hey, we want to continue this, even though the mastermind's no longer in existence. And to this day, 25 plus years later, we still call once a week. That's the power of masterminding. We hold each other accountable. We share our struggles. We problem solve with each other. And the periods in my career that I've been part of a mastermind have been some of the most powerful parts of my career.
Excellent. Ace, what about you?
Well, I think I started my first mastermind because I realized the power of that, maybe 30 years ago. And I had actually one with endodontists, then actually I created a mastermind with my local general dentist and a few other general dentists I knew around the country that were very successful. And it was just very exciting to see each of us grow and become better. And you're right, that connection we still have today with this group. And of course, I have my own group of endodontists that have been through my coaching program that are part of my other mastermind group. And it is, it's interesting. I kind of wrote a little vision for my last mastermind group. It was more about, it's a fellowship of elite dentists and coaches who have similar and strong core values that are committed to continually grow personally and professionally through a synergistic approach, which I like. We're working together to learning and sharing. It will allow each of us to reach new heights of personal and professional excellence, peace, and freedom. And I'm really into the peace and freedom part. Our meetings will have an atmosphere of friendship, camaraderie, support, and safety. Safety is essential, of course, and that's where we have to let our egos go. We all carry them. We just have to hold them back. Through our sharing and close connection with each other, we will create a bigger story and quality of our lives for ourselves and all others who are in our lives. So we're going to create a bigger story. And so this is pretty much what the beauty of Mastermind. It just sort of raises the bar. It allows us to brainstorm. It supports each other in an environment that is honest and transparent and safe. And I think that's the big deal about this. And but my experiences from those mastermind groups have been, like Al, and I'm sure Max. I like Max better. I have a little grandson named Max. He's like, and it's just very exciting to be part of that group and grow with everybody. So, and that's what I learned from that time.
And Clyde, how would you, or Max, how would you, in the masterminds that you've been involved, what have you, anything that, that inspired you professionally or personally, an experience?
Well, I tell you, the reason I'm so super excited about this mastermind is because actually this is the first dental mastermind I've ever been involved with. You tried to find mastermind, and I've been involved with many study clubs, but my experience from a dental study club is nothing to the magnitude that I've actually experienced when I joined my first mastermind, which was a non-dental one, but it's just a bunch of entrepreneurs, and it's really, and I was a strategic coach. I've been with them for about a year, but starting the workshops was this year. But just being in the room with entrepreneurs, and then the energy, and just how you can share, and all the things that Alan and Ace are talking about. Literally, I'm experiencing that in a short period of time, but with so many different, industries of people from different walks of life. And so I really appreciated that aspect, and the interaction, the energy that's created, the expansive nature, your mindset, things that I didn't have to. You go to a study club, my experience, I know you guys have been in dentistry a long time too. I don't know if I may be saying this, this is, you can relate to it. It's like you go to a CE course, and guys are, everybody's talking about how how great things. No one wants to tell the truth.
That is so true.
I mean, and it's like, it's not transparent. It's like, and it's so fake. And it's like, I used to tell people who are not my non-dental friends, I'm just like, I just can't, it's hard for me to connect to people who are not just being real. So I feel safe when, like, I love what I was saying. I'm so looking for that. And 26 years of practicing, I'm like, I couldn't find it in dentistry, but I find it in a non-dental mastermind, which I'm actually so juiced up about going. But I'm like, why can't we have that in dentistry? Al, you experienced that. I wanted to talk to you about that. So it's so awesome. I want that, and I'm so glad you experienced it. I just, unfortunately I didn't, but I'm glad that I'm now at this stage in my life that I'm being exposed to something like that. And I'm excited about being here with you guys and sharing and hoping that we, I get to glean off of that, because I do think it's important in our profession, to be transparent, to be safe. I love that word safe, because that's what I feel when I go to this other mastermind. You could talk about your struggles, you could talk about the challenges, and quite frankly, there's so many similarities that I'm learning about that, that we all share, even as non-dentist entrepreneurs, just entrepreneurs, the things that we have to share. Sometimes you feel like you're on an island. And,
True.
And
That's
it's
true.
you need to know that you're not in this alone. You're like, wow, in your industry you get that. Oh yeah, same things happen in with which are one of the most difficult things is dealing with staff and dealing with people and people development. It crosses all barriers, all different industries. So I'm excited. So
that's probably one of the most common things that I've been seeing as I've been interviewing for the titanium spots. So right now it's been all interview only or invite only. We're now launching it to allow dentists to apply. They will be interviewed, but the first part of the group has been invite only. But one of the things I found, and I think Al has echoed this as well, is this whole island concept that we're like on an island on our own, and that's what it feels like. But when you're in the group, something magical happens. And it's really fun, as we can see here. And this is why I wanted to have all of you on. I wanted our listeners to kind of get a glimpse of what it's like. Certainly we have a lot more people on the call, but you can see that I'm asking questions and they're going in directions I've never anticipated, and things that are coming out like safety, belonging, as Ace was saying, the ultimate goal of freedom and peace, right? And Clyde going beyond the fakeness. We go to the events or study clubs, it's all fake. It's like Facebook. You're not getting anything meaningful, And so here it's and I think Al, you were telling me this the other day. It's like everybody's here fighting for you. We're all here to help you get better. It's a safe place, and these are people that care about you, look at your good, and share everything they got, in there, and their heart and their systems and not holding back. And it's beautiful, and it inspires and it grows. And we all listen. I teach this in the MBA program. I'm big on this, my Tony Robbins background. But what's the number one thing, that is the key to any success? It ain't how many CE courses it is. It is not how much business knowledge you have. It's mindset. If you don't have the mindset, you don't have the passion, you don't have the belief, nothing's going to happen. You see athletes, performers with amazing talent, dentists with amazing talent, and nothing gets accomplished because they don't believe in themselves. Not an egoic belief, but a service-based belief, a connection to something greater, actually going beyond the ego. And that's what, when you're around people that don't just talk about it, but live it, that's how you learn. Look, Tony Robbins, his number one thing, I worked for him for a while, it's all about modeling. How did he become the best? He's not unique, Tony. He modeled all the other great people, Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, and others. You model the best. That's how you get here. You're a composite. So what I want to ask all of you, as we kind of wrap up this episode, there are two questions left. What specifically interests you about the All-Star Titanium Mastermind? Why did you, Ace, I didn't even give you a chance to talk to you about it. You just said yes, but give me an insight of why you wanted to participate in this mastermind. Let's start with Ace.
Well, first of all, I realized the importance of a mastermind group. One thing I'd like to address that Max said was, we learn mostly from our mistakes and we have that to share. And if you let go of your ego, you're allowed to tell your mistakes. And that's really where we grow. And we can help other people say, oh, don't go down that street. That's not the best thing. And you were right. Even Warren Buffett, he says it's the most important 5 people that you surround yourself in your life with that make your difference about where you're going to be down the road. So pick your friends wisely. And so I'm always interested in being part of a group where I know that you'll pick your friends wisely, Alex, so that we can be part of this wonderful group and be able to share all our mistakes and learn from each other. That's the big deal with me.
Al, how about you?
So when I first heard that you were putting together a mastermind, I was very excited because I haven't been in one for the last few years. And I recognize that that's something that's missing in my life, missing in my career. But very honestly, I can tell you this now, Alex, that I wanted to talk to you first because I wanted to make sure that your philosophy of a mastermind matched my philosophy. I've been in some very, very powerful masterminds and I know what it can be and I know where it can go. But I also have been in masterminds that didn't do so well for a number of reasons. And I wanted to make sure that this was something that I knew would be powerful. And I got to tell you, I got on the phone call looking for a few things that I was hoping you would say. And within 30 seconds, you hit all my buzzwords. You said exactly what I was hoping you would say. And by probably 2 minutes into the phone call, I was in. It was exactly
I wasted an hour and a half.
You wasted it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I held back. I didn't tell you I was in right away. I wanted to hear what else you had to say. But no, you immediately hit all the right keywords that I know what it takes to make a successful mastermind. And I'm clear that you know what it takes to make a successful mastermind. And that's why I'm very excited to be part of this project.
Yeah. And I'll give you the secret. I know the secret.
What's that?
It's not about me.
It's about all of us.
Correct.
Yes.
I'm a good facilitator if I get out of the way and I let the talent like you all shine. So Clyde, how about you? Why did you want to hang with all of us?
Oh, I'm honored to be around you guys. I mean, I've been looking for this. I mean, my whole career, didn't think I was ever going to actually end up being in one, because it's been this long. So I jumped at the bit when we first were talking about it, and you were saying, you know what, I'm going to pursue this. I mean, I was just so elated. So being connected in the field that I've dedicated all my life to. So,
well, yeah, Clyde, when we were talking about it, I was like, well, I don't know if I might do it. I might not. You're like, Alex, you got to do it.
Yeah,
do it.
I appreciate you to do it.
Stop.
I'll tell you, if I was ever going to do one or be in one, it had to be with an organization such as yours, because I'm a systems guy. I mean, I'm wired that way. I've taken that Kobe test, and I'm like a 7 on a follow through. Like I'm very strong system oriented mindset. And like you have the, I mean, if system is like your middle word, I mean, you've got everything is systematized, from the training program, the All-Star Dental program. It's such a powerful platform. And I've been spending a lot of time talking to you for many years. So I already know how you're wired, and kind of like, if I'm going to be involved, I want to be involved with something that's very structured. I mean, structured meaning with the mind, not necessarily we have to have everything lined up in the mastermind itself. But I just realized that the platform that we have access to, it's just second to none. And I only can imagine, by putting something together from a titanium standpoint, I think Mastermind, what it can grow into. And I think that being open to how it can evolve and allowing us to come together and synergize. And I do think, like I was saying, and Ace is saying, I mean, and they come with a wealth of knowledge. I mean, I want to glean off of these guys. I can't wait to just really have this thing really grow into something really special. So,
well, let me ask this, Clyde. I'm going to start with you, then go to Ace, and I'll give Al the last word here as we go to close. Is who is a good candidate for this group, for the Mastermind experience, specifically the titanium group that we have together? Who do you think is a good fit and who's not a good fit for those that are listening? So Clyde, and then we'll go to Ace.
Yeah, I mean, for the Mastermind group, for the candidates who want to participate, I think one is, you know, being transparent and knowing what you, I guess there's 3 things I would say. 3 questions. What do you want? Why do you want it? And how bad do you want it? And these 3 things I think that are important, because if a person wants to only get but not give, then that might not be such a great, and you can kind of spot them out by just the questions you ask. And if they're willing, if they really want a bigger feature for themselves, and how can we help them? Because we all want to help. How can we be of service to anyone who does not want to be able to give information about themselves or share what they want? You know, there's a question that Dan Sullivan calls the DOS question, and it's basically like, if we were having this conversation 3 years from now, what has to have happened in those last 3 years for you to be happy with the progress in the last 3 years? And the person, if the person's not willing to share that, and he's had, you know, people like, it's very, very few, but if there's someone who's just not willing to share or be transparent about what they really want, because sometimes people don't really know what they want, or they can't even describe it. And if they're not, and if they just don't see any value, it's going to be hard for us to actually help you.
So it sounds to me like some of the qualities are having a long-term perspective, beginning with the end in mind, essentially looking at copies, and also having an intentionality. I know it's a big word for you as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and being willing to, like I said, and that's where it comes down to how bad do you want it, because you got to be willing to do things. You got to be willing to give up, to grow up. You got to be willing to, you know, to put the effort in. And if you're not, and because we're not talking about we're going to be, you know, doing this every week. So
right.
What I love about it is that, you know, at least the mastermind I'm in is like you have every quarter, so every 90 days. So it's the in-between time, you know. Athletes talk about that too. It's like, it's what do you do in between?
Right. You know,
it makes a big difference. How bad do you want it?
You know, one of the things I think I talked about it in the first video about the mastermind is it's not a huge time commitment, the Titanium Mastermind, but when you're there, you give it your all, you bring your A game. And in between, this is Al actually encouraged me. This was inspiration. The Al amendment is we added the capability now that we can be communicating in between sessions for those who want to. You don't have to, but you know, you'll get out what you put in. But mostly whatever you can put in, because it goes to ACE, you got to find the balance. You got to enjoy your life. ACE is big on that. So you know, you may not be able to do everything, but when you are there, you're present and you give it your all and you share. And you have an intentionality about what you're looking to accomplish. It doesn't have to be that I want to double my business, but I want to have less stress. Like Ace, for example, multi-million-dollar practice and works 2 days a week. So you can work less and make more. That sounds nice. Who doesn't want that? So Ace, who is a good fit for this type of mastermind, the All-Star Titanium Mastermind, and who's not?
Well, I think it's easy to, if you already know all the answers, you're not. If your ego holds you back from being afraid to share, you're not. I mean, I was a little boy that, my father left when I was 3, and I tried to prove how good I was for so many years till I realized that this was not working. And I had to give up, because that's how egos are built, because you're really not worth it. So once you figure you're just as bad as you think you are, it becomes really simple out there. And so the deal is the ego holds us back from truly sharing. So I want people that are able, because we all have egos, to put them off to the side and just be out there to share everything, all your mistakes, get very excited to try to help people when you can, and have the ability to listen, because you're going to learn a lot more during that time. So you're going to want people who are open to listening, open to share, and provide a very safe environment for everyone that's in the group. That's what I recommend.
Thank you, Ace. Al, how about you?
Well, I don't think this group is for someone that's directly out of school. And I also don't think it's for someone that is really struggling in their practice. If you are concerned that you don't even know if the doors are going to be open next year, I don't think this group is for you. I think, Alex, you've got some tremendous programs that can help that person. So I think they should still be involved with All-Star, but I don't know that Titanium Mastermind is for them. This is for someone that has some experience with practice, that has been through the School of Hard Knocks and has made it. They know that even if they weren't part of the Titanium Mastermind, they would probably be okay. But they're a person that is passionate about their profession. They know, because they have been practicing a while and have a lot of experience, that there is a lot of strength in learning more, that they build their enthusiasm by talking to other people that are in their same situation. And they enjoy sharing, they enjoy giving back, and they enjoy being part of a group that has the same philosophy. That's the perfect person for Mastermind.
Beautiful.
Man,
Beautiful.
after listening to Ace and Al, I'm ready to sign up. Can you guys send me
Where do I sign?
I mean, I'm ready.
Yeah, I think I might just, whoever wants to sign up, I don't need to talk to them. I'll just have them talk to one of you guys. It's just a lot easier, saves my time. I don't have to do the Al waiting a while. You in, come on. I think Ace was the fastest. So I'll give Ace the number one, or Ace. All right. Anyways, so let's wrap it up. I will see you guys at the next podcast. We're going to talk about, I want to get a little more details. I want to hear some more specifics about what you've seen in your practice as a result of this type of program. So I'm going to just, next time you'll be able to do this, but I'm going to ask you all to say with me. I don't know if we'll do this in Titanium with the amount of people. We can try, but we're going to close out with my line, and I want to see if we can sync together with this. I'm going to say, until next time, go out there and be an all-star, and you're going to say it with me. You ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Until next time,
Next time,
go out there
and be an all-star.
Be an all-star.